That's for sure, man. Just been gorgeous. And this morning early, it felt like fall. And for those of you who know me, you know that that makes me a happy camper. So, anyway, I hope you are off to a great week. If you joined us on Sunday on live stream, I again just want to apologize. It really was circumstances beyond our control, but I know the quality of that stream was very poor, and really looking forward to having all of that squared away and be able to be back to our much better version of streaming this coming week. But I want to just give you this very quickly today. I was reading this morning in Psalm 18, my very favorite Psalms. Good morning, Roxanne. Good to see you on there. Psalm 18 is a powerful psalm. It's a psalm that it's so important that God records the whole thing in two completely separate places. One in Psalms, and then I think maybe it's in 2 Samuel. Again, it shows up word for word, and it was a psalm that David wrote, and it was when he was being hounded by. Actually, that's not a bad way to say it. Good morning, Sandy. You have a great one too. The Hebrew in the title of this psalm. Let's see here. Let me go to this. The title of Psalm 18 in the Hebrew actually says this was composed by David when the Lord rescued him from the paw, P-A-W, the paw of King Saul. King Saul is literally depicted as a beast that's after him, after his prey. And so it's a powerful picture of God stepping in to rescue you from something fierce, something that is powerful, something that is violent, something wanted to just destroy you, kill you, rend you. It's a beautiful picture of God doing that. And I could go through the whole thing. It's just loaded with such amazing stuff. But what I really wanted to just give you today, even though my temptation is just to go on through the whole thing, and I will just encourage you instead to read it for yourself today. Go to Psalm 18 and read it for yourself. Read it from a few different translations. Just let the Lord minister to you out of his word. But in verse 16, we get this verse. He then reached down from heaven, all the way from the sky to the sea. And by the way, I just want to tell you something. God will reach down all the way to where you are when you need him. When you cry out, it isn't, it's such a staple thing in movies where somebody's reaching for somebody to try to rescue them and they can't quite reach them, or they're reaching for the the button that they need to stop the bomb from going off and they can't quite reach it. God's never had that experience one time in his existence. Whatever he needs to reach, he can reach. And if you're the one he needs to reach, he can reach you. He reached down into my darkness to rescue me. He took me out of my chaos and drew me to himself, taking me from the depths of my despair. I just want to say this about that verse right there. Right now, so many of us in the States and all around the world, we're seeing a lot of calamity. We're seeing chaos. We're seeing it corporately in our nations. We're seeing it corporately in our regions. And then we're seeing it very specifically in our own lives, our families, our health, our finances, whatever. But we see a lot of calamity and a lot of chaos. I want to just show you this. He took me out of my calamity and chaos. What did that look like specifically? Because he didn't take out of it he didn't David wasn't transported to a new country all of a sudden. He wasn't suddenly teleported to a new dimension of time and space. What did it look like? God gets specific here. He says, I took you out of your calamity and chaos and drew you to myself. Where the way he removes us from calamity and chaos is not to suddenly put us in a brand new country or a new planet. It's to put us into his heart. And then I love this. He says, he took me from the depths of my despair. Dear one, I don't know what's going on in your life right now. I don't know how deep despair might be for you. And as I said earlier, it could look like so many different things. But I can honestly tell you this on the authority of God's word: no matter what the nature of your particular kind of despair may be, no matter what the depths look like for you, he will take you from the depths of your despair. He will take you from the bottom, from the worst you've ever been, the worst you've ever experienced, whatever it is you experienced, the worst you've ever felt. He'll go there, and he draws you up to himself, to himself. So, dear one, just be encouraged. God has a place for you above and outside of all the calamity and chaos. And that place is his own heart full of love for you. I hope that encourages you. I hope you read that psalm today for yourself. I'm going to post a link over here to a song that I love dearly. Hopefully it'll be a blessing for you as well. Have a great